So the news. So the New York Liberty was fined $500,000 for chartering their players to and from games, the second half of the season. For people that don't know, because broke people like myself didn't know what chartering meant, I had to make sure that does chartering mean what I think it means? It is. It means private jets. They were using private planes to transport their players to and from games for the second half of the season. They were fined $500,000, and they were even considering the committee or whatever was even considering terminating terminating the team for this. Now, not all teams are able to afford chartering planes, so because of that, they're not able to do that. Teams can't do that. They can't do that. I understand how do I tackle this, man? You can't call yourself the best league in the world for women if you don't and continuously show that you do not put your players first. You cannot be considered the best organization for women basketball when time after time after time again it shows that you do not put the women athletes first. I get the pay discrepancy between the WNBA and the NBA. I get it. I get the money that it generates. I get the revenue. The discrepancy between the money that the NBA generates and the money that the WNBA generates. I get that. I get the star power that the NBA has compared to the WNBA. I get that. But there's a difference between pay equity and pay gap and just treatment of players. Think about this. Imagine if we heard that the Chicago Bulls, instead of using a team plane, was using Delta or like United, and I can book a ticket tomorrow and be sitting next to DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. What's going to start to happen, if something doesn't change, what you're going to start to see is women. Hell, what you're seeing is women like Liz Cambage speaking out against the organization, and you're going to start having like the Athletic Unlimited, the month league they just did, which was hugely successful. You're going to start having people opt out of the WNBA. There's a reason why. It's crazy to me that almost every interview that I hear about the WNBA nowadays, you hear a sentence say, I get paid more overseas and get treated better overseas than I do here. Imagine that. Imagine if Barcelona, the team Barcelona, paid and treated players, NBA players, better than the NBA. Imagine that. Imagine the Euro leagues paying Steph Curry more than the NBA. There has to be. Now again, I understand that not all teams can afford chartered in the WNBA. Not all teams can afford chartered planes for their players. But the question is why? Why is it that a Liz Cambage has to sit coach has to sit next to me and she's about to go play the Liberty or something. These women, they're time and time again, you keep seeing examples that the WNBA don't even care about their women. Cause what? So you're telling me that all the money that, now I understand that it's no fuck. You're telling me that all the money that the WNBA generates, right? Not every team can have a team plane. At least a team plane. Hell, it can be a small ass team plane, but at least it's a team plane. I don't know how many times I have to see footage of a WNBA team getting stuck at an airport because of like a snowstorm or something. Time and time again, the WNBA shows you how they view their players. And the last thing I will say, first of all, there should be no, you're finding a team, because again, I guess competitive disadvantage, you're finding a team for doing something that benefits their players, of course, as little as comfort. You're finding a team. They were talking about terminating the New York Liberty that has Benasia Laney, that has Sabrina Nadescu, that has Dejani, what's her name, Carlton. You were telling me that you were real live they were considering canceling that team, terminating that team, because they were using chartered planes. They were using chartered planes for the comfort of their players. And then, or D.D. Richardson, I apologize. And then tell me, they got Natasha Howard, who's a WNBA. Tell me if they care about their players or not. Again, the last thing I will say, you can't continue to tell me that the WNBA is the best organization for women's basketball if they don't treat their players or pay their players the way that they deserve or the way they should be treated and paid. And the fact that there's outside organizations, i.e. overseas organizations, that pay better than the WNBA should tell you all you need to know about the WNBA.